We are live on YouTube. Hello, everybody. So we are here building in public. Yesterday, we took you through scenes. Let's see. I took you through scene 2, 3, and 4. So we went through 2, 3, and 4 yesterday. Hello, Zachary. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see. Make sure I have my chat on over here on YouTube. Okay, I've got that open. If anybody has questions, please say. Feel free to pipe up. I do see it on TikTok, so thank you for that. And I do see it on YouTube, so we are excellent. So I do want to show you guys yesterday when we left off. Our animations, they were good, but they weren't good enough. Oh, and today I have these Halloween earrings on for any of you that are interested in the Halloween earrings. I don't have a link to them or anything. I just think they're fun, and today's the last day I'm going to wear them because we're moving to Christmas. So anyway, I want to walk you guys through. I'm going to show you both on YouTube. I'm going to flip the camera around on TikTok. I want you to see I made some tweaks and adjustments to the prompt that I was working on because it was looking good, but it wasn't looking good enough. And I wanted it to look fantastic. So yes, and I'm going to do that there. Okay, so let me show you. I'm going to flip TikTok around. Let's flip you guys around so you can see my screen. Okay, so we have, oh, and I do want to do this so I have a little bit more space. There we go. Okay, so I did yesterday make some adjustments. So if you recall, if you were tuning in yesterday, here we have our guy flying through the air, but he's suddenly lost his parachute. So he had his parachute here, right? Bam, there's his parachute. He hasn't pulled it. We're not pulling the parachute yet, but we see it. And he lost it here. So I went back and did some tweak. I do love that shot, but I went back and did some tweaking and adjustments to fix his parachute. I'll show you that in a second. And then this one, this one made me laugh. I don't know what happened. What are we doing here? What is happening here? I don't know what this is. So I took some time and I went back and I reworked the prompt. I needed this to be evident that it was going down. So here we go. There we go. Okay, now we're working. And then we need his chute. Let's have a look. There's his chute. Okay, what I haven't done, so I didn't love this because in the pulling of the chute, the timing was okay. I wasn't quite ready for him to have his chute pulled, but I'm okay with that. But what I really needed to happen is I needed him to pull out his laptop, okay? So I made some more tweaks and adjustments. There's, okay, and that's fine because I can have that. There's his laptop. So what we're actually going to see, and that's fine that he tosses it because he's going to toss it in a second, but he's going to toss it before he pulls his chute. But I will probably use, when I go to edit this, I'll use it from here. And then magically, bam, the laptop comes out. Now, I was thinking it was going to come from inside his coat, but this could be from inside his coat, right? Like it kind of looks like from outside, but it's going to be so quick. I'm okay with that. So there's that. All right. And then that is where we have left off. So I'm going to flip you guys back around and we're going to go back to our script. And we do have sleeping puppies again today. So happy for that. And hopefully we won't have tootin' today because we had some tootin' yesterday. Okay, so let me share this tab. So for those of you on TikTok, I need to get to 1,000 followers so I can be able to show you on Restream. So help me get to that if you can. Right now, we're just flipping the camera when we can. So that's just how we're going to roll at this moment. We are now on scene, and here's the thing I was noticing too before I jump into that is in chat it is kind of confusing the scenes. And what I mean by that is I'm on scene 4 and it's like scene 2 and I'm like, well, not exactly, but it's fine because I know where we're at, and as long as I know where we're at, I think we're going to be fine. It's confusing the scene numbers, but that's probably partly my fault because I'm jumping back and forth, meaning like if it doesn't quite do the job that I want it to do, I'm going back in and I'm making an adjustment and I'm fixing what it's doing, so that it gives me the right look, which is partly what I've been saying is that I know this can be really tedious and sometimes a kind of time consuming, but it's the devil's in the details. That's really what it is. It's the devil in the details. Oh, and for those of you on TikTok behind me, I have my magic candles. I'm such a nerd, I know, but I love them so much. I love them so much. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining. Any questions at all of where we're at in the process, put it in the comments. Let me double check and if you have any questions. Liz on a journey, yay! Thank you so much for being here. You made it today. Yes, so yeah, he's very committed to his work. All right, so let's see where I left off let me share. I'm sharing my chat tab. This was my refining. So we are now in scene we are now officially in scene 5 where he's going to throw his laptop. He kind of did that before we saw the laptop screen. So the next thing I'm going to say is that he throws his laptop to the side, which it's just midair, just throws it out there. And then the ripcord, he's going to pull the ripcord and we're going to see it pop open. And I do like that we have a black parachute. So we're going to see if that gives that to us or if we need to specify. Honestly, I don't really care what the color is at this point in time. That might change, but we're going to develop the prompt. Okay, so for our order for today, we're going to develop the prompt for the Gemini visual. So yesterday and the last several days, I've taken you through several visual animations and then, several visual images and then doing the animation. So today we're going to do a visual and then we're going to animate it. That way it just goes a little bit faster. And if we have to make improvements, we can make them right away instead of having to go back and forth in the chat, because I think that's kind of where some of the confusion happens. So scene 5. So now we're going to move on to scene 5. And for those of you that are on YouTube, you are seeing my chat and you can see where it's kind of confusing. Shall we move on to scene 3? Nope, on scene 5. So I'm going to say we're now moving on to scene 5. And then I'm going to put the scene here, scene 5. And this is the script that my brother wrote. So he gave very specific details about what we want to have on here. So I'm going to flip you guys over here on TikTok so you can see what we're doing here. So we're moving on to scene 5 right here, camera angle. And I'm going to actually try something. Typically, I'm going to, let's see. Ask me any clarification questions. No, okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Ask me any clarification questions you have about this prompt before you begin to write the Gemini prompt. Okay, I kind of messed up a little bit, but that answered my question. I was curious if I could actually speak into my computer like I sometimes normally do, and it worked. Okay, so ask me any clarification questions you have about this next scene, I'm going to say about scene 5 before you begin to write the Gemini prompt. Ask me any clarification questions. Yeah, sometimes I say ask me any and all clarification questions, but I just said ask me any clarification questions on there. If there's any questions on here, for those of you that have just joined, I'm taking the script that we have and we're drafting out the prompts for Gemini, and then we're going to animate them in Flow. So today we're going image by image. So for example, let's say that there are 5 images for scene 5. There shouldn't be for this one, but let's say that there was. Then I would do all of those images and then we would do the flow, but we're going to do each scene by scene instead of images and then animations. That way we can see the end result a little bit quicker. Okay, so questions. Now, I know these are the tedious ones. There's usually 10 to 12. This time we have 10. It is important, and I do take the time here to answer these questions. Let me make sure we're seeing it here. Yes. Oh, yay, Liz. She says, Favorite prompt I got from you is to ask AI to ask questions before we start. Yes, exactly. And you just typed that into Claude. Good for you. Thank you so much. It does make a difference. Okay, so since this is POV, this is a great, okay, this isn't POV. This is a great opportunity to make this correction. This isn't actually POV anymore. We are now looking at our stockbroker. This isn't, let's see if I can say this. Isn't actually POV at this point. We are seeing our stockbroker from the front. Look at that. I can speak it in faster than I can type it. How cool is that? Did any of you know that? If you knew that, put it in the comments. I just learned that right now. So building in public and apparently learning in public. So since this is POV, do you want to see both hands, one throwing the laptop, then the other one reaching for the ripcord, or should it cut? So I think that should clarify what it was asking there. When the laptop is thrown, should we see it tumble away mid-air? It's just going to go out of frame. We're just going to say the laptop is just going to go out of frame, period. Oh, this is so much faster. I love this. After the ripcord is pulled, do you want the camera to jolt slightly to simulate parachute deployment? I kind of like that. Or do we just cut before the, no, we do need to see it deploy. We do need to see the parachute deploy. I do like the idea of the camera jolting slightly to simulate the parachute deployment, period. Oh my gosh, this is going to go so much faster, guys. And we are going to be here for just under an hour today because I want it to be able, because on TikTok, we kind of have a limitation of 60 minutes. So we're going to do just under 60 minutes so that I can post this and I don't have to edit it afterwards. Again, any questions? Let me check the questions in chat. Okay, we're great. And let's see, question number 4. Should the parachute partially appear in frame? Yeah, we do want to see it. So no, we do want to see the parachute. We do want to see the parachute in frame. We want to see it behind him, obviously. Well, I say obviously, but it may not know obviously. Again, devil in the details, got to be very specific. Otherwise, it will just come up with things all on its own. Like yesterday when that laptop went down and like he somehow flew up, like his hands were here holding the laptop and he's in front of it. I don't even know how that works, but it didn't work for us, so we fixed it. Okay, is the scene still between the skyscrapers or transitioning to, no, still, we are still between the skyscrapers. We are still between the skyscrapers. Ice scrapers. In between. In between is one word, right? Try not to judge too much. Nope, it is 2 words. Oh, it did get it right afterwards. I didn't read that after. Okay, there we go. All right, should the camera motion remain handheld and reactive, feeling like we're falling with him, or shift to a smoother aerial float after the ripcord? I think at this point, we're going to shift to a smoother after the ripcord is pulled. What we don't have here is I have a jingle that's going to be going on during this whole scene, but I'm going to add that in afterwards. So there's that. Do you want any visual wind or debris trail from the laptop as it falls? Nah, no, that's okay. No, we don't need to see that. The laptop is just going to go out of frame and that's it. I don't know, maybe it'd be kind of cool to kind of go back behind him, but I don't have cues for that. So we're just going to say, no, it's just going to go out of frame. The laptop is just going to go out of frame. I'm just going to copy from what I wrote up top here earlier. 8, we are almost there, guys. So much faster than typing all of this. Should the lighting remain, yes, bright, like the previous scene? Okay, sorry. For those of you on TikTok, you don't know what I'm reading. Should the lighting remain bright and cinematic, like the previous scenes, or soften slightly to mark the change from chaos to calm? Nah, we're going to leave it bright. The lighting should be bright. Remain bright and cinematic like the previous scenes. Yep. Because this is all happening so quickly. It's not like he's free falling for hours. We're not changing like that. Any questions on here that I missed? I hope I didn't miss any questions on here. Number 9. Are we keeping the scene purely realistic, not exaggerated in perspective, or lens effects, or adding slight cinematic exaggeration like a mild lens flare, slow camera rotation as he steadies in the air? I'm going to say purely realistic at this point. Keeping the scene purely realistic. And number 10, would you like to show a brief moment of his successful parachute deployment? Yes. Because we do want to see him kind of like floating down. We do want to see him gliding a little bit with his parachute open, period. And I'm going to ask, do you have any further clarification questions that you need resolved before drafting this Gemini prompt? Do you have any further clarification questions that you need answered before drafting this Gemini prompt? Question mark and go. Fingers crossed. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're clear. I'll flip you guys around so that you can see. Oh, you guys want to see the baby sleeping? Does anybody want to see the baby sleeping down here? I did put him on his harness because he was trying to get under the desk, but he's so far not tooting. Sorry, on YouTube, you don't see the puppies sleeping. You're stationary there. I guess, oh, hello. Whoa. Sorry. I guess being stationary on the computer has its advantages. You see my screen, but you don't see all the fun stuff. Okay. There are some final clarification questions, kind of not a surprise. Okay. So let's see. For the camera angle, would you say, oh, this is really important. For the camera angle, when you say from the front, should the shot feel like a slightly lower angle, camera below him looking upward a bit, emphasizing the altitude and heroism, or level head-on shot? I slightly in front, slightly lower. That's what we're going to. So again, devil's in the details. I think a slightly below him shot so that we see him, he's coming at us this way, right? Like if we're the camera here and he's coming at us this way. All right. And then parachute style. Do we want a traditional? Aha, here it is. The traditional black tactical chute. Yes. Or something bright and said, no. We are going to stick with parachute style, traditional black tactical chute. Question 3. When the parachute deploys, should we see it fully open, filling the frame behind him? Yeah, that's fine. We see it fully open, filling the frame behind him. That's fine. What was the other option? The other option is, or just the moment it inflates. No, we can see the whole thing. That's great. During his glide between skyscrapers, do we want the camera to track him moving smoothly alongside as he stabilizes, or stay mostly fixed in front, letting him drift closer? So here's the thing. I kind of want to see what it looks like as the camera tracks with him, moving slowly alongside as he stabilizes. I have a feeling it might mess us up, but let's try it. Why not? We can always fix it. So we want the camera to track with him, moving alongside and stabilizing is what I'm going to copy and paste down here. One more question to answer. Should his expression read as relief, confidence, made it, feeling, or still carry a hint of intensity, focus, and determination? Let's see. Should his expression read as relief and confidence? I mean, I feel like still carry the intensity. He's flying in between buildings of New York City. Still carry a hint of intensity. That's what we're going to say. Okay. He should have everything he needs. Ooh, how many of you, does anybody call Claude a he? Or not Claude. That was from Liz on a Journey over here. You're using Claude. I am using Chat. Does anybody call Chat he? I don't typically, but I did name it Jarvis at one point in time, but now I just say chat. Okay, so we have, let's read through this because I think yesterday if I had taken just a half a second longer and read through this, I'm going to TikTok show you over here as well. Flip my camera around so you can read this with me. Let's see. I'm going to move you so I can actually read it. Realistic cinematic shot, young Wall Street stockbroker, free fall in between tall New York City skyscrapers, captured for a slightly lower front-facing camera angle, looks upwards at him. Wears a black suit, orange tie, visible tactical parachute harness straps. That's important. As the shot begins, he throws the silver laptop aside, letting it drop out of frame. A split second later, he reaches up, pulls his parachute ripcord. The camera jolts slightly to simulate the impact deployment. Behind him, the black parachute bursts open fully, canopy filling the upper frame with realistic yes. His expression remains yes. Okay, I think this is great. So we are now going to copy here, copy this. We're going to pop over. We're going to go to our, Gemini. Ooh, wrong thing. Let's go here and pop it in here. Okay, let me flip you around. I need both hands for a second. Actually, what I might do, I know I popped it in here, but I might go back over here to, yeah. Okay, I switched threads because, let me share this tab. I switched threads because I want it to be in the same one. I think it's going to perform better if I do it this way. Because this thread on Gemini in particular has been doing a good job. Let me take a quick sip. The one that I had the most challenges with is when we were doing the top of the stairs at on the rooftop. When I had the stockbroker running out, he kept running into the stair, like inside. And I was like, we need you to come out of the stairs. So that took quite a bit of adjusting. Yes. Okay, so I think we might try something here. Okay, let me show you guys this. This is good, but fully realized Gemini prompt. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't the flow prompt. Let me back up so you guys can see this. Yes, so, okay. I think we're going to do something. I don't want the laptop just floating here, and he looks like he's closer to the ground in this image, but it could work. It could work. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take that image, download it, and I'm going to use that for flow. So let me download this. I'm going to say, pause here. Oh, let me share this tab. Pause here to create the flow animation for flow animation prompts for scene 5. So I almost want to use that as the prompt. We'll see. Let's see. Okay, pause here first. Create the flow animation prompt for scene 5. Period. Done. End of story. Let's see what it creates. And while we're doing that, I'm going to pop over here to flow, and I'm going to add in this image that it has for me while it's doing that. So date added. 1 second. Here we go. There's the image. Okay, so I've added it. And for those of you on YouTube, I'm going to share this screen. So I've added in the image here. I'm changing this from landscape to portrait. Let me show you on TikTok so you can see what I'm doing here. So when you upload the image initially, it comes in as landscape. So I'm just clicking over here and I'm choosing portrait, and it's already getting rid of this little watermark here, so we don't have to worry about that watermark. I'm going to say crop and save. I think he's slightly off center. We don't see the computer. That's fine. We'll see how well that works in that way. So, all right. Let's see what our prompt here is. And there we go. Okay, copy our code, pop over here to Flow. And I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown, but let me read this through. I want to make sure that this actually reads well so that everything that we've put into the questions comes through here. So handheld camera position slightly below. So the reason I say handheld, it's not like this. It's not like I've got, the camera in front of me like this. The handheld is to simulate like movement, like someone's holding the camera, like you see, like on the bodies of like when the cameras are strapped around their bodies and they're moving. It's has a smooth move to it, but it also has a little bit of movement so that it's not like on a dolly. Does that make sense? Okay, the camera movement is good. Subject motion, this is where it's important. The stockbroker's in a black suit, orange tie, throws a silver laptop, bam, throws it aside, exits the frame. Then he reaches up, yanks the parachute ripcord, split second, violent air resistance, snaps his body upright. The black parachute canopy deploys behind him. Lines taunt, fluttering realistically. Once open, he stabilizes, begins to glide forward through the city canyon, body angled slightly forward, arms adjusted to control. His expression stays intense, eyes scanning the skyline as he navigates the open air. Yes. Okay. This sounds... Audio, start with loud rushing noise as he throws the laptop. Quick whoosh accentuates the motion when the parachute deploys. Add a deep snap of the fabric, which has, if you've ever skydived before, like it all happens so fast, but you do hear a little bit of an audible. It is loud, but you do hear a little bit of an audible. So followed by a sudden drop in. I've only skydived once, by the way. I'm not claiming to be an expert at all. Transition to smoother air noise, gentle flap of the canopy, distant sitting. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to say go on this. While this is working, let's go get our next Gemini prompt for the script. So let's see. POV, flying between the building, continues to fly. This should be real easy. So next scene is, let's move on to scene 6. Here we go. How are we doing on our time? I feel like we're doing fabulous on our time. And yes, we are. Okay, we have another 25 minutes. We can do this. Perfect. We should be able to get through a good bit. We only have 11 scenes and we're already at scene 6. So we're marking the halfway point. Very exciting. Camera angle, POV of flying between buildings continues to fly. So, oh, that's where the POV is. It was the directions that my brother had popped in here. I see why it was doing that now. Okay, so let's move on to scene 6. There's the scene. Please draft the Gemini prompt for this image. And then, again, as always, ask me any and all clarification questions that you have before drafting this prompt, period. Okay. Bam, there's that. Okay, moment of truth. Let's pop over here to Flow and see where we're at. Share this tab. This guy straight up looks like he's standing in the midair. We might have to go back and make some adjustments on this. Let's see here. Okay, I was looking to make sure if we had any questions I wanted to answer. Okay, we're all going to see this for the first time. YouTube, you're seeing it. I'm seeing it here. Let me scroll just a little bit so we can see it here. Okay. No, not right. Okay, that's definitely not right. Okay, we need to make some adjustments on that because that didn't turn out right at all. So here's what I'm thinking. I actually think I want to use the other image of him instead of the one where the chute is open, because the image that I fed it, the frame to video that I fed it, the chute is already open. I think that is the problem. I think I need to feed Flow the photo that I did before where he pulled the laptop out, or pulled it out this way rather. I think I need to feed it that image and then the shoot will open. So we're going to use the same prompt. Let me show you guys this. If you're in Flow, and let's see, YouTube, you're seeing the same thing. Okay, when you're in Flow, there's a button over here that says reuse prompt. So I'm going to click that button and it automatically populates in here. But what you have to change is the frame. So I am going to take this out, add in our previous frame, this guy right here. I just feel like that's going to give a better perspective of when he pulls the ripcord. I know in this photo we don't see his parachute, but we specifically say it. And if we remember in this shot earlier, it does appear, and I'm not going to use all 8 seconds of it. So I will use once the shoot is on him, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this again here. And then I'm going to go back over here to chat and see. Okay, so we do have 11 questions to answer for clarification. I probably didn't need to ask it. Do you have any clarification questions for that one? Because he's continuing to just soar through the air, but it's just kind of my habit to ask, because if I don't clarify something that it has pondered, then it tends to make things up, which sometimes, like in that shot yesterday where we see the laptop and then all of a sudden the laptop goes down and he flies up. Like, I didn't give any information for that, but also maybe I didn't say don't do that, right? Like, okay, I didn't think about that, but I think you have to be really specific. Okay. There's the POV again. I probably should have taken that out of the script, but it had said, when you say POV, are we seeing directly through his eyes? No body visible, or do you want to include? Okay, so I'm going to take this out of the script because it's not, I think what my brother meant was like, this is the perspective, but POV it's interpreting it differently here. So, okay, and YouTube, you see this page, right? Let me double check here what you see. Yes, okay, great. All right, so back over here, and then we'll see where we're at with Flow. This is working so much better, guys. Like, instead of bam, 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 knocking out the images and then going through the flow, it's a little bit back and forth, but I think this is way more entertaining because I feel like I get instant gratification of, I get the image and now we see it animated. So I'm happier with this workflow. Okay, so again, I'm going to say it's not actually POV. What we should see is the camera is still in front of him and we see him gliding through the city skyline. Yes. Okay. Question number 2, should the camera motion feel fast and agile like a wingsuit or drone shot? Yes. Camera motion feels fast and agile. I'm going to put yes and then paste in there. Do you want the camera to bank and tilt with him as he steers? Okay. Do you want the camera to bank and tilt with him as he steers between Yes. Yes, we do. As he steers in between buildings. So we want the camera to bank and tilt with him as he steers between buildings. Yeah, it needs to be slightly entertaining. We're not going for Blair Witch, but it needs to be slightly like entertaining. This isn't just a floating camera. Is the setting still midday with the same bright? Yes. Yes, setting still midday with same bright cinematic tone. Again, this is all happening so quickly. We're not changing time of day. Oh, by the way, we changed time zones. Not time zones. That's not right. If in your state you change time, that happens on Sunday. I heard that this morning. Yes. Do you want to emphasize the close proximity of the skyscrapers or a broader? No, we definitely emphasize the close proximity of the skyscrapers. If you have ever been to New York City, you know how close those skyscrapers are. And I can only imagine how really tight that feels if you are like parachuting through these. Okay, should we still recognize? Yes, we should still recognize the New York skyline. 7, should the parachute cords and canopy occasionally drift into the top of the frame to remind viewers? Yes. Parachute cords should drift into the frame so that we know he is still hooked up to his parachute. Is the goal to make the viewer calm, controlled, or adrenaline-fueled motion? Adrenaline-fueled motion, because he's still descending rapidly through the city. This isn't la la la. He's not out in some cornfield where you see what are those hot air balloon rides? We're not doing that. Okay, so any visual details we want to include, relationships to shadows on the glass, bird, sunlight? No, I don't think so. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think so. Not for this part. Should the soundscape later stay for flow, later stay realistic and wind, distant city noise? Are we open to subtle tonal change? Low hum of triumph? Nope. The soundscape should stay realistic, wind plus distant city noise. We're not getting all crazy with the audio because I have audio to add. We're just not doing that right now. Are we planning to end this shot? No, this will continue. We have another few set of scenes we'll be working on after this. I probably could have spoken that in. Okay, so we're going to hit enter here, pop over to flow. Let's share this scene. Share here, tab. Okay, so flipping you guys around on TikTok here. So we have, this is the beginning of our guy here. Let's see. Oh. Okay, so I do need to make an adjustment because when we see, well, actually, okay. All right, so here's the thing. If we, okay, I'm working this through as I'm talking here. So this is what I'm thinking. This is garbage. This one I think was the good one, right? Right, yes. Okay, busts out his laptop. So from here, from this scene here, we see this. Bam, those go down. Then we're going to come all the way up here. We're going to go from here. He's closed his laptop. Bam, throw the laptop away. There. Okay, yay, guys, it worked. Yay. Okay, that we have success. Yay. My one puppy dog's like, what are we doing? Okay, let's come back over here to chat. Flying between, again, I probably got too nitty gritty on this one, but I feel like when I have not gotten nitty gritty, it bites me in the tuchus. So realistic cinematic shot of young Wall Street stockbroker in a black suit, orange tie, black tactical parachute harness, gliding at high speeds through New York City skyscrapers under a fully deployed black parachute canopy. Yes, cameras positioned in front of him, capturing his descent, forward motion as he weaves rapidly between glass towers. The camera banks, tilts dramatically with each of his movements, matching the agility of his flight. He maintains an intense, focused expression. Body angled slightly forward, both hands gripping his parachute controls. The black parachute cords and parts of the canopy occasionally drift into the upper edge of the frame, grounding the shot in realism. Yes, okay. Really, he's just flying between the buildings. This is a lot for the Gemini prompt. This is probably a bit overkill, but we're going to pop it in here anyway. I could maybe use this and just cut the laptop out. I'm showing the image here of that I probably could have just used this image here instead of redrafting, but the laptop is gone. And I could just say, okay, so here's the thing. What I could have said in this, if I wanted to go off of this image right here, I could have just said remove the laptop, and this image would have then been left with here and no laptop. But I do want a little bit more going on in terms of like, to me, he just looks like he's standing on something in like not mid-flight. I mean, obviously he's got a parachute behind him, but that doesn't look, filled with motion to me. So, oh, yay. This is way better. Okay, now I am very glad that we took the time to draft this out because this is far different than this. This looks like he's, I don't know, standing on something and that's a balloon behind him or something, right? Like the Macy's floats or something. No, this is way better. Okay, this is the image that we're going to animate next. Okay, so we're going to pop over here, flip this camera here. Okay, let's move on to, I've downloaded that. We're going to now, okay, here's the cool thing. Oh, let me switch this tab over here. So because we've been toggling back and forth with the image and then the motion, Chat now gets it. So it's asked, would you like me to now move on to drafting the flow animation? And we have the scenes correct. Prompt for scene 6. Yes. So we're going to say yes. Move on to drafting the flow animation prompts for scene 6. While that is working over here, I'm going to pop over here to flow and I'm going to upload, because that takes just a half a second. I'm going to upload our new image, our guy mid-flight. And then again, same thing. I'm cropping. That way you can see cropping. We don't have to worry about this. If we were leaving it, if this were over here, I would need to go in and remove that watermark because I just don't want it there. But we've cropped, remaining in portrait mode. Again, if you are working in landscape, you could do this way too, if you were doing it this way, but we are definitely not. We are sticking in portrait mode because this is going to be a short. We're going to say crop here and then pop over here, see where we're at. Okay, we have our code ready. So let me flip you back over so I can use both hands on my computer tab. And again, guys, if you have anybody that you think would like this content and this would be helpful for them in drafting their prompts, definitely share it. Tony, thank you so much for joining. Definitely share this because once I get to 1,000 followers here on TikTok, I can have you guys on Restream and you can see. That way I don't have to keep flipping you back and forth. Although I think you're going to miss the puppies when I do that because I'm not moving my computer, but, but they're all snoozing. Okay, we're going to copy our code. Let me share this tab over here on YouTube. Here we go. Pop our prompt in here. Let's, again, read through it. Make sure that there's no funkiness in here. Dramatic front-facing camera, tracking the stockbrokers. He glides in between the skyscrapers. Motions fast, agile. Yes. All the information we added here. Okay, let's look at our stockbroker. He's wearing a black suit, orange tie, black tactical parachute, right? Like the through line, what's really important here is that this information is being pulled through so that it's not like all of a sudden his tie's, I don't know, teal, right? Like it sounds redundant, but what I have found is if we keep the redundancy, which feels redundant to us, but makes it clear to the LLMs and to Flow, we get consistency, and that will ultimately make this, our prompting easier. So redundancy is great for the consistency. Wearing a black suit, orange tie, black tactical parachute, flies confidently, between the tall glass towers. His body is slightly forward angled, arms are extended, right? He's still flying through the air. Maneuvers fluid motion, shifting weight. Okay, this all reads great. Same midday, same sounds, maintains gliding motion. Okay, perfect. Let's go. Let's move on to, while that is working, scene 7, side view of the stockbroker parachuting in between buildings. So we kind of have when I go to put this all together, it's going to be like quicker cuts in between. So scene 6, 7, and 8. No, sorry. 6 and 7, he's still going between the buildings. We see a front angle of him. We're going to see a side angle of him. The side angle is what we're working on now. And then scene 8 gets really exciting. I don't want to tell you yet. Well, if you're on YouTube, you have seen it. So we're going to take scene 7, copy over here, pop in here. Not going to hit enter just yet. Would we like to continue? Again, good job, chat. We are on it today. Yes, we would like to continue into scene 7. Well, here's scene 7. We're going to say yes. And then let me do. We are going to continue on to scene 7, drafting the Gemini prompt. Here is the scene described. Okay, quote, end of it, period, quote. Okay, we're going to move on. I have continuing here twice because I stumbled over my words, but it picked it up the first time. Scene 7, drafting the Gemini prompt. And then again, I'm going to ask my questions. Earlier, I thought I didn't need to ask those questions, but it sounds like I need to ask those questions. Sabrina, thank you so much for joining. Lou, thank you so much for joining. Super appreciate you guys. Mimi, happy to have you here. Okay. Ask me any and all clarification questions you have on this scene before drafting the Gemini prompt. Okay, baby has moved, but baby hasn't gone far. All right, we're going to hit enter here. It's going to come back with probably 10 questions. Let's pop over here to flow. Okay, he's good over here. And all right, let me share this on YouTube. Let me share you on TikTok. Hold, please. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look at what we have here. So again, he's just flying. Oh, this is great. Yes. Yay! Oh, this is so good. Okay, I'm so happy with that. That looks fantastic. Okay. Yay! All y'all, I'm 5, right? Like I get so excited about all of this. This is fantastic. Oh, the baby went down. Well, he's still on his leash. How are we on time? Oh, I should look. I'm just like working away here. Okay, we have about 7 more minutes left before I need to wrap up because I want to make sure I can post this on TikTok afterwards. So let's, oh, this is going to be mid-question because I have 12 on this one. Hi. YouTube, I know you're not going to be able to see this, but look at this guy. Hi. Okay, now he's going to go bug his brother. All right, sorry, back to work over here. Okay. So maybe what I'm going to do is for time's sake, oh, so, come here, Benjamin. This is the real live right here, guys. Okay, go ahead. Hang on. Let me drop this for you. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I'll take this off. Okay, go. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. I had to let him go down. So I don't want to get cut off midstream. So what I'm going to do for the sake of time here is I want to go back over where we're at with our scenes because I have enough time to do that. So let's do that. I'm going to bring you guys over here to flow. And okay, let me flip you here. Does anybody have questions on YouTube? Or excuse me, on TikTok? Wow, I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Flip. There we go. Okay, so let's go through from where we're at. Okay, so our first scene right here, we're just seeing the door on the rooftop in New York City. Okay, next, I'm only going to use just a small little bit of this. Door opens. I know the sun on the inside, and then we see that. I'm only going to have just a quick second of this one, so that's fine. Yay, this was the big one. Our stockbroker comes running out the right way. It's got a weird run to him. I mean, I think I'd have a weird run too. if I had a bear coming out. And then our bear, look at that drool hanging off his face. All right, now our stockbroker, he's run past. We see him jumping off the building. I might go back in and actually add a scene of him, like, so we see him jumping off, because he is obviously, if we come back, already leapt off the building. I kind of want to see him actually like leap off the building. So I might go back and add that in. And this one, oh, this was the one that didn't work. And this was the one that didn't work. This one, I believe, is the correct one. So for those of you that didn't get to see this, this is what I say. It is important to be clear in your prompts. Watch this. What is happening right now? Yeah, no, not quite. So I think this is the right one. Let's launch. Yes, okay, he's got his gear on. I'll cut it where he has his gear on, right? Okay. He's supposed to be pulling out his laptop at that point. So we see that, I think here is where I have him pulling out his laptop. So he has his gear on. Yes, gear on, laptop out. So this is actually the one that I'll use. And then this is the correct one. We'll watch here. Stocks are going down. Okay. Now we've got our correct here. That one's no good. And again, I went back and I just used that same image. We know he's going to get all of his gear on. So we're going to use that one for throwing away the laptop. It doesn't quite look right here until you get to here. This is where I'll cut it in right here. So he's closed his laptop. I don't need to see him closing his laptop. That's fine. Toss that, bam, up there. So then that will cut to, he's going to be there, probably here in that part. I'm probably going to cut out this first part. I'm not going to keep all of this. And then the next one that we're working on is the prompt for over here, which I need to go through and answer these questions. So I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions. And then tomorrow, what I will do is I will show you guys where we end up with this. So let me come over here to YouTube and I'll stop sharing my screen over here. So tomorrow when we pop on, I will have that particular image drafted and done. That way I can show you what that animation looks like, and we will have that one all finished. But I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. If you have any comments, I'm going to actually on YouTube, this will be published today. On TikTok, I'm behind a day on publishing. So what I will do is I'm going to publish 2 at a time. From the last couple of days, because I had to go in and do some edits. So that way we're under 60 seconds and I can just download and upload. So if you have any questions, put it in the comments and then I can create a quick little video response to that. But again, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here and I will see you guys tomorrow. And